So on YouTube lately, everyone has been modifying Minecraft in some way, from new difficulties to implementing all sorts of weird things. So I decided to do my own take on it. And since I don't know Java, but I do know how to draw, I present to you the thing no one asked for, but the thing that you're getting anyway. Cute mobs! Since creating textures does take a long time, I have only done 4 mobs, but if you guys like this video, then I will try and retexture every mob in Minecraft. So, without further ado, let the retexturing commence. So I don't have much experience making Minecraft texture packs, so it was kind of a struggle at first, but I knew that I wanted to up the resolution a little bit, so everything is going to be 32 by 32. And if you didn't know, Minecraft is normally 16 by 16, so I just doubled the amount of pixels. So the first mob I decided to retexture was the creeper, because, it's the most iconic mob in Minecraft, and, I thought it'd be fun to have a cute little creeper at first. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do for the face, because I knew I wanted to do, a super cute face, but I kind of just had to play around with it a little bit. A lot of things in this video are definitely trial and error. I just had to figure things out, see what worked, what style I wanted to go for, and eventually I came to things that I was happy with. But in the beginning, you may see things that are a little bit weird, but they probably won't stay as the final product. Probably. So here I was just kind of working on an eye, trying to make it super shiny and big. This one did not end up being kept, so you won't see this for much longer. And I was especially struggling with the mouth, because at first I was following the regular creeper mouth, but then I was like, I don't really like how that looks. Maybe I should do a smile or a frown or the cat face. But yeah, honestly I could not decide which one I wanted. I guess what I was trying to do was follow the original, trying to closely resemble the original design of the creeper, but I kind of realized that if I'm gonna make this really cute and stuff, I'm gonna have to stray a little bit away from it. So I started playing with the pencil tool and the paintbrush tool, and I kind of just I wasn't sure which one would look better, but I realized after a while that I liked the pencil tool more, because it would give you those sharp, crisp pixels instead of something more fuzzy, which fuzzy is good for textures and stuff, but not something precise like I wanted with the face. And it did take a while to kind of get used to it, because normally I don't really use the pencil tool. I'm usually using the paintbrush. Oh yeah, the cat face, that was the one I was actually gonna go with for a while, but now I was well, I don't really like it that much. It's not as cute as I thought it was gonna be. As for the skin and the background, I wasn't sure if I wanted to make it camouflage like the creeper, the original creeper, or transform it into my own style. One problem I was facing with, I'm not very experienced with pixel art, so I had a feeling that if I tried to replicate the original creeper's texture thing, that I would severely mess it up and just regret everything. So I went with something a bit more simplistic, just boxy lines, and I did try and make it a little bit more detailed. So right here, I was drawing a bow, but I quickly realized as I was drawing the bow that it was not going to look good on the creeper. So that particular bow just was not going to look good. So I tried to draw it in different ways, but I just realized that it just was not going to look good no matter what I did. So I was you know what, I'll just draw it on the back of the head or draw a bow tie or something. And I left that alone, and then I started drawing, and then I started messing with the face again because for some reason I just could not decide on a face. So one problem with doing the 32 by 32 is I couldn't get the really tiny smile that I was going for. As you can see, I'm struggling flipping between smiles and frowns, but none of them just look that good in my opinion. So I ended up scrapping all of them, and as you can see, I did the cat face again, trying to get it to work, but no, it wasn't working. So I just removed the entire face and decided it was something else. So I did these 1x3 eyes, and I think that it just looks really cute in my opinion, and I really like how it turned out. And then I erased the bottom of it just to give it that extra texture, make it a little bit more detailed. And I did redraw the shines, and I added a second layer of green. So my goal was simple, but a little bit more detailed, not super simplistic, but simplistic enough. And then right here, I'm just copying and pasting the head around. I did have to get used to the mapping because It's weird because I kept having to look back at the original one because it's kind of hard to see where I should stop on the blurry image. I was having a lot of trouble figuring out where everything should go because like it's easy when you're just retexturing one block in Minecraft, like a regular 16 by 16 block, but these are mobs, and so I ended up looking for a UV map or like a texture map of the mob, which if you don't know what that is, it basically just shows you where everything goes. You'll see me flip back and forth between that throughout this entire video, but just so you know, I'm just using that to help me figure out where everything is, so don't be alarmed. For the body, originally I wanted to do like a bow tie or like buttons going down, which did not end up working in my favor. I realized that I didn't really like how that was turning out, and I just decided against it. I was like, no, this isn't gonna look good. Right here, I'm just like drawing the bow on the back of the creeper's head. So I decided to play around with a few bow designs I knew. Originally I was going to go with like either a blue or yellow color, but I realized that wasn't going to look that good, so I just went with plain black, which I am very happy about. I would not change that still. You will see me messing around just a tiny bit with the bow design, trying to just figure things out, you know, trial and error, because can't get things right the first time. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing there. That didn't look good at all. So I colored the inside a little bit gray just to like make it pop just a little bit more, make it stand out just a tiny bit more against the completely black bow, which I did think make a slight difference. And as you can see, and then I added blue blush because I thought it would just look better against the green skin compared to pink. And I am kind of glad about that. I really like how the blue looks against the creeper. So I say that was a good thing, a good decision on my part. And then basically just the rest of this is me copying and pasting the green texture thingy onto the rest of the creeper. I didn't really add much more to it design-wise. And so now that our first mob is done, now we are on to the zombie, which I have to admit I struggled with the most out of all of these mobs because I just could not figure out how to do this. Because everything else with the other mobs, they kind of have a fantasy element to them, which, I mean, a zombie does too, but it's a lot more human than the other ones. So I was like, should I draw hair? Should I make it human colored? Should I keep it green? I had no idea, and I really struggled with it. But I did come up with a face design rather quickly, which I'm happy that I saved myself the time of not just struggling with the face design over and over again, which I did mess with the mouth just a tiny bit. I was originally going to do like an inverted design with it, like the brighter on the outside, but I realized that it really just did not look good, especially compared with the rest of the mobs, because if the rest of them are going to have like that darker outline to them, which I did plan on having most of them be darker outlined, and I felt like I maybe could have made it work, but it just really didn't fit in my opinion, so I ended up just switching it back. I messed around with stripes to see if that worked, but no, that didn't work either. And then I eventually just started drawing the eaten corner of, like, the flesh part of the head, kind of, which I know is gruesome, and this is supposed to be cute, but I didn't really draw it like a too gruesome manner. I just kind of made it like this dark pinky color. I don't know, I just feel like even though it's like flesh, it's kind of cute. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, I don't know, it fits, okay? And then I kind of wanted to do like kind of like a V mouth with like the tongue out, or maybe like the tongue sticking out, but that's kind of hard to replicate with just how big the pixels are, like how just the resolution size. It was kind of hard to replicate, so I just ended up going with like they're kind of chewing one part of the mouth curved in, and I was gonna do both corners of the mouth curved in, but that didn't really look that good either, so I just went with the left side. Just to make the zombie stand out just a little bit more, make it a little bit more fleshed out, I added a very slight line kind of coloration to the center. And so now that I had like a good design figured out for the head, I started mapping out the rest of the head, which meant that I had to draw the rest of the corner of their head. I think I did pretty well for my first time doing something like this. I did have to go into Minecraft to see if it looked right. This wasn't like it was going to be even on all sides, because when it's even on all sides you can just copy and paste it, but this one was like, it was one corner, so I had to make sure I was mapping it out correctly, which luckily for me I did first try, so happy about that. Glad we didn't have to waste more time on that, but yeah. But I realized while looking at it, I was like, oh, well, this definitely needs a bit more detail to it. It looks kind of bland. So I ended up going back later and adding some more detail. Right now I'm drawing suspenders, and I'm gonna attach a skirt to it. So I needed to draw the skirt under it, so I was copying the dimensions from the front part of the leg, so I knew where to draw the skirt part. Just so like I drew it correctly, because it was kind of like making a regular Minecraft skin, but normally I use the skin dex, which allows you to just see where it's going to be placed in real time. But when you're editing with it like mapped out all weirdly, then you have to figure out where to place everything, and it's just a mess. So yeah, that's why I placed it there. And then I just kind of do some light shading, which if you notice, I made blue, and that's because I wanted it to pop out a little bit more. Oh, and I added like a white buckles to where the suspenders met the skirt, because I thought that was kind of cute. Right now I have the skirt and like the sock part on the leg, and I knew I wanted like some kind of transparent stocking thing over the leg, so I went with black, and then I made the layer transparent. And then right here I'm mapping out where the skirt needs to be, which I thought I had this down. I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna do this first try. Yeah, I mapped it out just ever so slightly wrong, so it looks a little bit, so it ended up looking a little bit weird, and I had to go back and fix it. So don't copy what I do for this part, because I did it wrong. Okay, so for this part I'm just like copying the shading and mirroring it to the other side so that it matches. And then next I'm just shading the suspenders a little bit, just so they're not completely bland. And then I started adding stripes, which originally I went with a darker color, and then I realized later on, I was like, okay, so originally I wanted to go with white, but then it would clash with the buckles of the suspenders, so I went with dark. But then the dark wouldn't look good, so I just went with this light gray color, which actually I really like how the light gray turned out. And I actually think I like it better than the white would have turned out. And definitely looks better than the darker color, so. And then I started working on the back part. And I knew that I wanted the suspenders to crisscross instead, so I kind of like had to figure out how to draw those. And I maybe kind of wish I would have softened the edges of the suspenders, but at this point I'm just like, well, I don't really feel like fixing it, and it kind of looks fine the way it is. So then I started working on the sleeves. And I just wasn't completely sure how long to make the sleeves, but I did end up settling on like this more of a longish length, but not super long, like kind of in the middle, but more leaning towards the longer side. And next up is the spider, which I did have some unexpected difficulties with the spider, one of those being the glowing eyes. So I wasn't completely sure what to do with the spider. I wasn't sure how to make it like cute, because spiders, like the mobs aren't already cute, but like they're doable. They're really easy to make cute, but the spider I was kind of just like, how the heck am I supposed to make this adorable? I don't know what to do. So I looked up cute Minecraft spiders. They made like cake spiders with sprinkles on them, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so adorable. And then I wasn't about to copy the design, so I was like, you know what? I'll just make the entire spider striped. Okay, if you're looking at a pink and yellow striped spider, are you really going to be scared of that? You're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's so bright and colorful and pretty, and I just want to touch it. Well, I mean, maybe not touch it, but that was kind of what I was going for. So with the face, I just want like that kind of blank look with like a nice shine in the corner. Just like that straight face, which I think it really suits the spider. And then I just added this pink blush, but the difference is with this, I didn't make them all solid pixels. I actually used the paintbrush with it. But not all the pixels are completely solid, they're like a little bit transparent. Fun fact, you probably weren't interested in that, but you got to know it anyway. I did have a little bit of trouble mapping out the spider, because it was weird. Like, the spider isn't completely, like, not every single one of the things were square, which, I mean, the other mobs weren't completely square either, but, like, it was really hard to distinguish where it stopped and where the next one began. I actually had a lot of trouble mapping this one out, but I did figure it out eventually. So then, after I mapped out how everything went, I realized while testing in game that the spider has a little overlay over it. I removed the entire spider eye thing, and then and then it made the entire spider glow. It was completely wet, and I was like, what the heck happened? was just so confused. If you have the same problem that I had with the completely white spider, then what you need to do is you need to make the entire canvas black. That is the story of how I solved the spider eye problem. And so for our final mob, we have the skeleton. So I went back to my original creeper design and I made it very similar to that. And so I knew immediately, since this didn't work with the creeper, I wanted a bow on the forehead. So I went with these really down, these, I don't know how to describe them, but they're corner eyes. That was just something I was experimenting with. I actually didn't expect it to look as good as it did. Face is definitely the most feminine out of all of them. So on this part, I thought that was the neck or something like that, so I started texturing it like it was, and then I looked on the map later and I was like, hold up. Oh my gosh, that is not the back. What the heck is that? After my brief moment of stupidity, I finally started texturing it the right thing. And since I had such a small amount of pixels to work with, I didn't add any shines to it, and I just added one outline of a darker color instead of the two outlines. The next thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to make the skeletal part a heart, because I thought that would be really cute. I had a little bit of trouble figuring that part out, but it wasn't that hard. Honestly, it could have been way worse. I just had to kind of guess where everything was supposed to be. But yeah, I think it's okay for my first time messing with that. So we are finally done retexturing these 4 mobs, and now I will leave you guys to look at these magnificent creations.